Hello to everyone. My name is Immaculada Serramito and I work at the University of Salamanca as a postdoctoral researcher. I take an active role in the Nemesis project and I'm here to tell you about our recent progress. First of all, let me thank all of you for your interest in this program. As the consortium leaders have already explained, Nemesis is an Erasmus Plus project whose aim is to provide qualified staff with the essential technical and bioinformatics knowledge and skills on next generation sequencing or NGS. So our ultimate goal is that they can carry out NGS studies and perform some of the most common types of analysis. As already mentioned, NGS allow us to obtain a large amount of genetic information from individuals with a limited sample and in a relatively short period of time. Thus, NGS is essential in personalized medicine, that is, in providing the right patient with the right drug at the right dose and time. We can say that clinical applications of NGS have been made easier with advances in technologies, but the investment needed to bring NGS into medical practice remains significant. And moreover, bringing NGS into clinical practice implies facing regulatory and technical challenges. Therefore, we think that biomedical staff needs suitable training to be able to perform from the most basic sample processing to the more complex data management, interpretation, and genetic assembling processes. First of all, we thought we needed to identify the training needs of the biomedical staff at European institutions. With this aim, we conducted a survey to assess the implementation and limitations of NGS in Europe. Or what's the same? We aim to identify the state of the art of NGS in Europe as a basic tool for personalized medicine. From March to May, we designed this mapping survey which had 38 questions. We tried to know the performance of clinical NGS services in Europe by assessing the wet and dry lab processes, the interpretation stage, the researcher's interests, or their limitations. So we decided to group these 38 questions topically, generating the following sections: demographic questions, state of the art of NGS, laboratory characteristics, standardization and interpretation, data storage, software tools, reporting, and a question about bottlenecks. First of all, demographic questions included a set of questions asking where researchers were from, the type of institutions to which they belong, and the hematological neoplasms to which they apply the NGS. Considering that most of Nemesis leaders are blood cancer specialists, we had to know which hematological malignancies are the most relevant in this context for the future design of the adequate training materials. The next section, called State of the Art of NGS in your country, referred to the availability of national and regional plans for personalized medicine, as well as the reimbursement of these plans. We tried to test how easy it is for biomedical staff to access personalized medicine programs and consequently clinical NGS. The following section posed a series of questions regarding laboratory characteristics. We asked respondents if they had the infrastructure needed to perform NGS studies at their own place, as well as the kind of techniques they use to conduct them. We think that thought a certain methodologies such as whole exome sequencing or whole genome sequencing would have a more limited application due to the complex data management required. Thus, we wanted to know the number of samples processed by each institution for the most common high-throughput techniques, such as whole exome sequencing, whole genome sequencing, transcriptome profiling, and targeted panel sequencing. In addition, we asked researchers in which context, clinical or research, they apply NGS, the sequencing platforms they had, and the number of processes carried out at their own place, such as sample and library preparation or sequencing itself, computational analysis. In the same vein, we questioned researchers about the degree of standardization of this process. In fact, next section deals with standardization and interpretation of NGS results. Standardization and interpretation are essential in NGS. So we question researchers about the guidelines used to establish standards for reporting sequencing variants. And moreover, we included several questions about crucial interpretation issues, such as the professional profiles involved in reporting variants, the percentage of variants validated, or the existence of regular meetings to discuss challenging cases. We specifically asked if a board-certified ND clinical geneticist was involved in reviewing filtering variants, because we should bear in mind that the patient is the main beneficiary of the application of NGS in healthcare, and therefore we need a precise diagnosis. And what about data processing, which is critical in NGS? To solve this question, we added a data storage and a software tools section. In these questions, we aim to know the bioinformatic performance regarding storage formats, data processing, programming language, or toolkits applied to different phases of the NGS pipeline. Considering the large amount of information generated by NGS techniques, optimal bioinformatic processing is crucial for the adequate interpretation of NGS results. Finally, we included a reporting section as we wanted to know which professional profiles are involved in writing and reviewing clinical NGS reports. And a final question about the bottlenecks that researchers and clinicians had to face to bring NGS into medical practice. We mailed the survey to different types of organizations within 9 countries in the European Union, and we obtained feedback from 58 researchers and clinicians, a reasonable number considering the public health situation in Europe during last spring. We sent out the survey in May and received answers until July. So currently we have just processed the results of the survey, which will be made public during the next few weeks, and I will be happy to present them together with my colleagues. We believe that we obtain a great overview of the clinical NGS services in Europe, and we are ready to start the training period. In fact, Dr. Camius will discuss this in more depth, so please watch his video for more information on this. Moreover, the results are especially relevant because for the first time, a survey has been carried out to assess the current state of NGS in Europe. And finally, I would like to especially thank all the clinicians and researchers who, in such a complicated situation, have kindly participated in the survey. We appreciate it very much, as well as all the members of the Nemesis Consortium that have made this study possible and the European Union for funding. And without further ado, thank you very much again for your attention, and see you in the next Nemesis Info Day with more updates on the project. Bye bye!